Ooh. Hello. Yeah, I think my allergies are kicking my ass. Hi, everybody. My fucking head's killing me. Hello, Wyvern and Nego Man. Reading. Hi. Which changed the image for the art category, and I had to make sure I was clicking on the right thing. Yeah, today we're doing art. There's a fucking art. Let me, like, do that. Don't share your... remove some art. Let me... work. I don't know if that works. Huh? Okay, yeah, that's not good. Okay, we got a window capture that. Figured I'd try, right? Been a bit since I've done this. In that case, select beta. No, don't select beta, that'll work something. Calculator app. Yeah, select calculator app. I want that. Don't do none of that. Let's fucking hide that. Why do I have so many fucking window captures? What the fuck? Your stream is that far behind. What was that? So what do you already have planned? I did have an idea. I have an idea in mind, so we're not flying completely blind here. Here's my idea. I call it Blender Default Cube. I call it Blender Default Cube. I hope you like it. If you want a pro tip, Chili, going into advanced settings, switching low latency to off, and then back on again is a quick way to refresh the stream to be caught up. And it is a method that doesn't trigger a new ad. So, that's, you know, a concern. Let me adjust the way the screen looks. Sorry, my OBS is a mess right now, and it's, like, really difficult to navigate. Fuck. Okay, well, I guess we're not changing that. I'm gonna look like that. Well, it's like a beautiful slate of marble, but you hit delete on it. That's the first thing you do with the Blender Default Cube. In fact, you hit Control A and you delete everything. Rather, it's not Control A, it's just A. So I have an idea. I want an animated background. I want it to be looping. We're gonna do this in EV because I don't want it to be too intense graphically. Like, I don't want to render this for 10 hours. And also, I want to, like, do stuff in EV. I don't want to, like, have everything be in cycles. So I want an animation, and the important thing about having an animated background for me is that it loops, preferably in a way that is seamless. So I have an idea, and the reason this is going to be pretty easy to do is because we're going to be doing this relatively seamlessly. Wow, that literally increments by 1. We're going to be doing this relatively seamlessly. Seamlessly? Sorry, my head hurts. The way... My general idea here is going to be relatively abstract, conceptually, is why I'm saying that it's going to be relatively easy to execute, is the word we're looking for here. This also gives me something to do that isn't the shit I've been doing all week, all month. So that's nice. So first things first, I'm making a big fuck off cylinder, and I'm also gonna make a new object collection here, which I'm just gonna call, like, stuff, because we're being very helpful here. Very, very useful, very, very relevant. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna skip this song in the playlist. We're gonna skip that song, and we're gonna skip that song in the playlist. We're gonna skip that song in the playlist. Okay, that one's better. Howdy. I want to add a camera back in here, which we're gonna zero that out, and then we're gonna hit here. Hi, Mac. YOLO, Mac. Why is it like that? Oh, right, I want that. So, I want it to be a looping background, and I want it to be kind of abstract with a couple different, like, shapes and stuff moving, as well as some text, you know, with some nice little lighting here and there. So a great way to make something loop is make it a circle that rotates. And then just the amount of time it takes for a 360-degree rotation, that's your loop. There you go, bada bing, bada boom. You're done. Also, let me just do... what the fuck is 720p? It's like fucking... 1280 or 720. I'll deal with that later. We might just render this out in 1080. It doesn't really matter that much, because the rendering times will be relatively fast. I just want to keep the file sizes low. So we're gonna get this out of stuff. This collection up here is going to be just items, and I want it to be like a field of objects that is rotating and scrolling around the camera. So the camera is going to be here, and this object is going to like rotate. Right? That's generally speaking what we're going to be doing here. I might need to adjust the camera, but for now, this works, and I'm going to lower the music a little bit. For now, this works just fine, so I'm going to add in a couple little objects here, like this. This. Shoutouts to me. Not using hotkeys for all these drop-down menus. I fucking peck. I fucking search and peck with my mouse. So first things first, we're gonna make sure we're in this collection. We're gonna click on this cylinder, and we're gonna use geometry node. We're gonna use a little bit of scary visual programming. Don't worry about what's up here. I never look at this corner. But we are gonna add this, and we're just gonna call this like asteroid field or something. You spelled that? Spelled like that? Sure, whatever. It's spelled like that now. So this is a bit of math that represents our shape. We have our geometry data from our mesh, and then we have an output that displays it, and if we disconnect that, oh my god, it's gone. Okay? So between this, we're gonna do some math that's going to take this original shape and change what it looks like once all the math is done, essentially. And I've done this a lot, but distribute points on faces is the first thing we're going to use, which is going to do this. You can see our cylinder has turned into a cluster of rhombuses, or whatever the fuck these shapes are. Little fruit gushers. And this is what we're going to use to distribute random objects onto our cylinder. So now I'm going to do instances on points, which we take these points that we've generated across the faces of our shape, and then using those points, we distribute instances. In this case, we're distributing objects geometry from this. Okay, so we're gonna hit pick instances, so it's all individuals. Separate children. Separate children. And you can see it's all fucked up and weird, in part because I forgot to hit apply scale. this, and now it's tinier. Oh, that looks fucked. Let's reduce the density by, like, a lot. God. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's a lot of objects. Perhaps I've made this thing too large. Let's do poison disc, and then we'll set a distance minimum. Poison? I don't know how you pronounce that, but this one lets me make sure nothing overlaps, because I can set a minimum distance between the objects, which does mean that there's a more, generally speaking, uniform shape to everything. But you can see then we got this. I can hide these. So now, you know, it's getting there, but you can see, like, got our geometry here doing a little bit of something. I think one of the things we're going to want to do here, this is pretty much already, like, boom, our geometry nodes are mostly done. There's a few more things I'm going to want to do, though, but we'll get to that in a second. First things first, let's bump our camera back a little bit. Just to, like... Yeah. Honestly, we might go for, like, an orthographic camera, see what that does for us. Oh. This. So then... do a bit of that. That looks fucked up and weird, and we might not want that. But... for now, we keep that shot in perspective. What the fuck is that emote? Man, I fucking hate Twitch global emotes. What the fuck? Macwek 2? Oh yeah, you have a fucking account for your phone. Forgot about that. I like just noticed. I was like, huh? I was like, huh? What the fuck is up with that? Oh, I hit shading accidentally. Not what I meant to do. I meant to hit geometry now. It's frozen. Oh, why it was frozen? That's scary. First things first, I need to make sure I save this shit somewhere. We're gonna call this... oh, it's like asteroid BRB. In the right, it's in the right folder. That's good to see. Okay, so you can see how everything's all uniform here. We do want to like mix it up a little bit. The way I do that is I do a combine XYZ node, and we're gonna want two of these. Just pop these open. We can collapse a little bit from there. Stuff around a little bit. So we can apply rotation to all the objects that we're distributing, but they're all going to be uniform. However, we can create a so-called random value right here. And what this will do is it'll give us random values for each individual object. So we're going to pop it over to... well, actually, we only need one combine XYZ. So we're going to... and you can see now they're random sizes. That square is that big, that cube is that big, that cube is that big. It's different. You can change the seed to scramble it a little bit, but broadly it doesn't matter. And you can also set the maximum and minimum sizes, in which case we're going to do like that. So it's going to be base size all the way down to 10%. Is how this random value is set up right now. Then, we're gonna grab another random value, actually. Learning Godot, wondering if you're making a game, would you primarily use 3D models or 3D renders? I would use models. Part of my motivation for doing Godot stuff is to transition into doing more real-time 3D rendering, because that allows me to do a lot more with it. Doing pre-renders is good and great, and that's the thing I know how to do, and I do that a lot. And I have a big fucking project right now that I'm working on, which is using exclusively pre-rendered stuff, and Honestly, I'm kind of hoping that's one of the last projects of this scale that's like that. Just because for streaming, specifically streaming, and one of the reasons why I'm learning Godot is for tools to use on stream. It'll give me a lot more options than what I have right now, is primarily the reason. Less so for a standalone video game. But yeah, it's the interactivity and the dynamic nature of those kind of like big production streams would be enhanced a lot by having it built inside of something like Godot instead of having it be static pre-rendered backgrounds that I create in Blender and then program everything through OBS and like mix it up, or even Sammy. So we're also going to randomize the rotation here. And what we're gonna do this is, yeah, so this is just like one node for all three of these values. So we need to make a combine XYZ if we want to alter these values separately. Which actually, we kind of don't need this combine XYZ now that I'm looking at it. So get rid of that. So we're gonna pop this here. Now everything is good. We're going to want to do, let's do 360. There you go. Now, all of our objects here, and in rotation. What is it? That's all we really need for now. We still need to make like what we want these objects to be. See, right now, dark as fuck, and I think what we're gonna do here is hold lighting down like this. And then I want to do, okay, here's our camera. We're gonna say here, I like geometry nodes, like, and do weird shit. But, okay. My perspective is all fucked up here. Anyway, I'm gonna add in some lights. Light, bada bing, just like. Wow. Oh. And then let's do like, throw a couple of them in there. Fucking, make this one purple. Make that one fucking blue. Make this one fucking orang. Check that shit out and bada bing. There you fucking go. Orange is not one of our colors, though. We want it to be like this. Then you can see we can rotate. Let me hide that. Rotate our cylinder. See the light kind of moves and passes around it a little bit like that. We're approaching kind of what I want it to look like, broadly speaking. So I do want something here, the light here, and this. Where's our blue light? Blue light is here. Anything, I think, probably get rid of this one and then move the blue light in a little bit, like off center. Casts a particular shadow. I'll put this on it. Like that. Maybe. I like the way the purple lights like flash against the objects that get close. I do like that. I think I want our blue light here to be a little like this. And also, we just black that out entirely. I have a broad idea of what I want here, but there is also a lot of general exploration that's happening. Let's make a fucking... Just, like, add a text object here. Enter it out. And make sure my posture is good. Sit up straight in my fucking chair. Do one of these. Do one of those. Bada bing. And I always make these, like, probably darker than they should be. But... a bit of shadow is nice. The text? I can kind of see that. I can see that a little bit. I think this is way too dark right now, but I think that's, like, kind of getting there. I feel like the objects themselves being a little bit more interesting might help. Maybe... You know, here's something I should have figured out, like, a long time ago. Is there a modifier I can do that turns this into, like, a mesh and then extrudes it without me having to, like... Can I do that? I think so. Remesh it. Is there just, like, an extrude? Am I stupid? Is there an extrude in here? It's a little... I don't think so. But I can make a duplicate. We're not, like, destructively editing this, and then I can just a mesh. Do a bit of that. Zoop. Make it 3D, and then hit him with one of these. Skew that bitch. Bada bing, bada boom. Look at that. Make it a little bit bigger. Great. Great. There's some text, I guess. Because here's, like, one of my sort of problems with this idea is it's a little bit too fucking simple. I don't think I'm a big fan of how simple it is, but I think it's nicer to have something than nothing. How long does it take to render a frame of this? Half a second? Okay. Oh, whoops. That, I'm gonna test my frame render time. Half a second, okay. That's pretty quick. Half a second, 250 of these, that's fucking 240 of these, that's like what, fucking a minute? Less than? Yeah, that render time is like perfectly fine. So I wanna go into here, and we're just gonna like, let's just like assume we're doing 250 frames of animation. First things first is this guy. We're gonna want this guy to rotate. So I'm gonna go to here, by that, 50. I'm gonna tell this to rotate to 360, and then we're going to do interpolation linear, and now it's just gonna do this. It rotates now. That, and that's so cool. It's a little fast. Kind of like nauseatingly fast. I have a few ideas for that. So if I take the amount of points I have here, and I can decrease the density. Okay, that doesn't affect it how I think it does. Density factor? That just like starts knocking dudes off. I think what I want to do is increase the distance. We give those shapes some color, maybe. It depends. I think this is just too fast. If I want it to be a full 360 degrees, it has to take a little bit longer. I think this is a better density because it's just less like I'm being visually attacked. The thing is, kind of what I'm doing here is I'm doing the color through the lighting. Is sort of the general idea here. Which may or may not be a good idea, but we'll see about that. So the reason I kept re-enabling this collection full of our source objects is you will observe as I rotate this cube, it rotates all of the objects that it's referencing, or that references it. So all of the points that have one of these guys projected onto it rotate to match the parent copy, more or less. So if I animate this, any transformations I apply to this will apply to all squares inside of my little asteroid field. I use this a lot to do like quick crowd shots and shit like that. Like in the Hell Tournament stream, the crowd's like bouncing and moving around. So we're all animated with this method as well. That kind of stuff. So probably what we're gonna do is, so we can animate rotation. And I'm thinking, see, we want it to be seamless, which is why I'm basing this off of, I did that with the wrong value. That's the wrong value. I want that value. I'm gonna do a little bit of this. And then fucking let me just do a 360. 360, make sure to set the linear like that. You can see the square, the cubes moving while they're in frame here now. So that's something. And I can apply a similar sort of thing to the rest of these guys as well. So like if I want to do a Z rotation on the torus, I want it to do like this. And pop over here. Do a Y, right? These, and then we can say like, what if it's like 720 degree rotation, so it's like faster. So it does 2 rotations per cycle. That looks like. Table that. Add a little bit of motion to everything. See it, the dark. Also, I might even like lower the frame rate just to make it go slower. I don't really want to like render more frames, honestly, but I mean, we could like double this, right? Because like rendering this out, it's not going to be that big of a pain in the ass, right? Yeah, it's 0.2 seconds per frame. Like, fuck it, we can have like 500 frames of animation as a treat, right? You just have to adjust everything else. Much. So I can just grab this keyframe here, move it all the fuck the way over here to 500, and you can see now, much slower. That's just how things work in the world. We're gonna do the same thing here. Doing this like kind of the simplest way we possibly could. 500. Pattern. But of course that means everything's like way slower now. We do kind of want this shit to speed the fuck up. So let's just apply a ×4 multiplier to this. It rotates way faster. And we also want the cube to be a little bit more noticeable, so I think 8 times 4 is also going to be way faster. Something. I think I can afford to up the density now that I've slowed it down. And this is also like, I don't think these are all the shapes I'm gonna want to be using in the end. Sorry, I'm fucking looking at things. Discord. We could probably like bump this density up now. Because that was like the reason I decreased the density is because I was like, ugh. Way too much like visual information, you know? That. See, that's better. That's better. I think that's the right amount of visual density right there. That's kind of more what I'm looking for. And we can do one of these guys. This guy, the cylinder, the cone rather, that I have in here. I could make it, I could animate its scale if I wanted to. But animating that's not gonna do anything. Yeah, I think that looks fine. Oh yeah, I should not do that while I'm zoomed in. That is a flashing lights hazard. Okay, we're gonna do oopsie. We're gonna do a little bit of that, animate that element, just pop all the way over here to the final frame, which is frame 500, and then we're gonna do like 360 times 3. For one of these, we're gonna want to set this to linear so that it's a seamless loop. Like that, bada bing, bada boom. And this sort of box here is going to be our render area. Hey, that's not that bad. I think it's missing it's missing a little something, I think. Honestly, what if I it was transparent? I could like put something behind it. I don't know if I want to though. I don't think putting something behind this would do me much good, would it? What else does this need? I'm kind of trying to think. Well, obviously it needs a blockhead. Obviously you need to import a fucking a blockhead into this, right? Where's my blockhead, OBJ? Put blockhead in there. Oh, does blockhead look correct in this rendering? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say blockhead looks really fucked up for some reason. Blockhead's a little sick. Blockhead's not supposed to look like that. One of the reasons why, like, I throw shit on cycles is because that's when blockhead looks correct. But also cycles takes, like, way longer to render. Yeah, I gotta, like, remake blockhead, because blockhead's fucked up. I think it's like a setting in here somewhere. Blockhead's material. I can never remember what it is. I feel like I can. It's backface culling. Oh. Well, that helps a little bit, but I think its normals are like flipped. That didn't fix it. Yeah, I don't know why it does that. I've been meaning to remake Blockhead. Do like a faithful Blockhead remake, just so it's not weird like this. Is it alpha clip? Oh, that did it. That did it. It's alpha clip, that does it. Or opaque. Here. Just like make sure it's not transparent at all is the way you fix that. Which is not good. It's a blockhead is very sick. I need to fix it. But one of the things I can do is we can add blockhead to our collection, and blockhead just gets assimilated into the collection. So, oh, you see, there's some blockheads in there. Sort of like occasionally. There's one. You spot. There's one. There's one. There's one. You can spot them occasionally. There's one. All right, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's a nice, like, kind of like an Easter egg. They show up. What else would this need? I don't want this to be like, honestly, keeping it simple is a good thing. Genuinely, keeping it simple is a good thing, but I want, like, flair and pizzazz to this, you know? I want that, like, special fucking sauce. Which is a little hard to do sometimes. You know what? Rotate the cylinder the other fucking direction. If I can be fucking straight up and down here. Let's rotate the cylinder in the other direction. I want it to go down. Yeah. It's definitely too. I need to like look at this on my other monitor. My main monitor's like a little got like some fucked up gamma levels that I gotta like fix. Stop animating. Oh god. Well, I would think we need to like animate next a little bit. Let's like fuck the text up. Can we like fuck this shit up like nasty style? Like triangulate the mesh and apply a displacement to it. Oh, do one of these. Go here. Oh. 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 Okay. Reduce the fucking strength on that thing. Interesting. And I like auto smooth this? I don't think I want it to. Oh, that just makes it look worse. Fucking. Is Bunsick slime gonna be included? Yeah. But doing that, one, I don't know where that, or I don't know where the raw file for that is right now, and I don't know. That looks. Feel like X. A little bit like that. Then set it to an object coordinate. Then we can get empty and you know what? Let's do an idea for this. So we're going to assign this to our right, and now when I transform the empty, this moves. So I think what I want to do is we're gonna parent that. This, so now that moves. That looks like shit. That looks like shit. Man, you fucking live like this? Yay, color. Yay. That looks like poop from a butt. I believe the mesh didn't really do much for me. This is just poop from the butt. That's a little bit better, sending it back though. I think shading it smooth was part of the problem I had. Yeah, it's a little PSX-y. Kinda. Mostly just the colors and the fact that it's dark as fuck. I mean, there's like things I can do to this to make it like a little bit more interesting. Like, let me get like a good frame here. I'm just gonna render out an image here, and we're gonna play with this in OBS for a second. Blender crashed. I hit save image and Blender crashed. Good sign. That's great. I save frequently enough, so it's probably fine. Probably. Oh yeah. Wobbly 3D text is a big, like, PSX thing. Yeah, I've been saving. I don't think it likes that OBS is streaming, is usually the problem. I don't know why. Weird that it fucking crashed, though. Not opening back up, either. Blender's usually pretty quick on its feet to open. Let me open up Task Manager and see what's up. Yeah, it's all that OBS GPU usage. Probably doesn't like that. There's no Blender process running. Oh, you know what? Yeah, if I had the letters be individual objects, I could do a lot more animating them. You're right. Interesting. So, there's no Blender process, and it won't launch. That's very interesting. Hmm. Let's stop capturing it for a second. Well, hey, I appreciate that you like my renders, Mac. Hide that window capture for a second. It is just refusing to launch Blender at all. Let's try directly opening the file. Yeah, I'm looking at, there is no Blender anything in Task Manager. And it will pop up the command line dialog that is supposed to open it when you use the shortcut. It just doesn't open. Yeah, it's like, I try to open it, and it's instantly closing, I think is what's happening here. Can I open something else? Nope. Okay. That's concerning. Huh. Is there, like... details? Oh, it's not in there either. Services? For a Blender anything? No? Okay. It is. Okay, let's try. Let's try running as administrator. Do I run anyway? Yeah. I'm thinking it's because OBS is open and streaming might be the problem. Run as administrator. Let's try that. Nope. Okay. I'm gonna stop streaming for a second, and I'm gonna see if that fixes it. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere.